Sometimes we find ourselves in relationships we're no longer happy in. Romantic relationships that may have started off wonderfully, but now we find ourselves quite miserable. Maybe the thrill is gone. Maybe they just aren't treating you right. How do you know if your relationship is worth saving? Let's talk about it on Optimal Expression. Hello and welcome to Optimal Expression, where we embrace our greatest potential to manifest our wildest dreams. Good people, recently I was fortunate enough to be included in the Girl Talk that was hosted by who I would like to consider a good friend, Blue Tarot. Blue Tarot, if you haven't watched her channel yet, please go check it out. Amazing insight, a very accurate tarot card reader who can really help you get some insight on yourself, your current situation, love situation, all of that. And they included me in the Girl Talk. And I was able to give a male perspective on some of the things they may be experiencing as it relates to their current relationship. And I think it was beneficial for everyone involved. I enjoyed being a part of it. So I want to say thank you, Blue Tarot, for letting me be a part of that conversation. And just to let you guys know, going forward, I am offering a one-on-one consultation with anyone who wants to have a conversation with me about getting a male perspective. There were several women there who had questions on why men do certain things or what does it mean for their relationship if a guy is behaving in a certain way. And I was able to give input on why men do what they do. What does it mean if we do this, that, or the other? And also talk about a possible resolution. So if that's something you might be interested in, then I'm going to leave some details in the comments. You can reach me by email, and I can talk to you about the details on a one-on-one consultation, and we can talk about things from a male perspective and hopefully give you some clarity in that respect. Now, on to today's topic. Is my relationship worth saving? All right. Number one, if you're not happy in the situation, something's got to change, right? And if you want to know, is your relationship worth saving? I have what I call a measuring system. We have to measure your current relationship to, is it a healthy relationship? And also some questions you have to ask yourself to determine if this relationship is a good fit for you, right? Because if you're in a situation that's not healthy for you, then why would you want to hold on to that? And if you do some self-searching, some soul searching, because it all starts with you, know yourself. The better you know yourself, the better you will be able to select a partner that is a good match for you. So know yourself. So we're going to measure by what I call the 7 aspects of a healthy relationship. And then we're going to go into some personal questions to help us assess if this relationship is worth saving or not. All right? So let's get to it. The 7 aspects of a healthy relationship are trust, communication, respect, love and support, financial stability, fairness, meaning do we have equal give and take, a common vision, a common destiny. And as a bonus, I want to throw this in, the physical aspects of the relationship. We can't neglect that. That's part of it too, okay? So the 7 aspects of a healthy relationship. Number one at the top of the list is trust. If you don't trust one another, if you don't trust your partner, what do you have? Right? You have to be sure the trust is there. And a lot of times we all make mistakes that can break the trust. And trust can be repaired, but it's a long journey and it's definitely not easy. It's very hard to repair, very easy to break, very delicate. It's like a glass, a piece of fine china. Once it's fallen to the floor, it's ruined. Okay? If you don't have trust in your relationship and you don't believe the chances of repairing that trust is good, then there's a good chance that you may not be able to save your relationship. Because how you can have happiness without peace? And how can you have peace if you don't trust your partner? Yeah, it's pretty tough. Okay? And if any of these 7 aspects are off, there's just a good chance that it may not be in the best interest to save it, or it may not be, able to be saved. But only you can make that decision. Okay, so we're going to measure it. Trust. Are you able to trust your partner? Do you guys have trust between one another? Has it been ruined? If it has been damaged, can it be repaired? Communication. Are you able to talk to your partner and say, hey, I feel this way. I feel a certain way about something. I'm feeling unhappy lately. I'm feeling miserable lately. I'm feeling stressed lately. I miss when we used to do this, that, or the other. I miss the way we used to be. Is your partner going to listen to you and be concerned about the way you feel and be able to talk it out? If the communication piece is in place, then there's hope for you, even if the trust is damaged, okay? But if you have a problem, if you feel like things are wrong, but the other person don't see anything wrong, and you can't talk to them about it, they got a wall up, and they're not letting you through, then it's a good chance that the relationship may not be able to be saved. Respect. This is a huge one, right? And trust, communication, and respect are the 3 major pillars of a solid, healthy relationship, in my opinion. Do you have respect between one another? How can you have a bond? How can you have love? How can you have anything that is salvageable if you don't have respect? How does the person treat you? How do you treat one another? How do you speak to one another? Do you curse at one another? Are you cheating on one another? Is one person cheating on the other? Is one person not coming home at night? Or even if a person won't listen to you when you're trying to talk to them, if they dismiss your feelings, that's also disrespectful. Do they respect you enough to care about what's going on with you? If the respect isn't in place, you may not be able to save the relationship. Love and support, right? And I'll put this one in there because we all want to be in love, and a lot of times the relationship will start and it'll be great in the beginning. And when things are great, it's easy to fall in love. And when that love is there, it's wonderful. But somehow the human condition allows us to become complacent. And in that complacency, we get so comfortable that we take the other person for granted. We take it for granted that they're going to be there. And sometimes so much happens between you that you're with that person, but it's not because you love them. You're with that person because you're married. You're with that person because you have kids together. You're with that person because you may not have the means to live on your own. You may not have that, the ability to have your own independence, to be able to move on and move out, right? So you stay with a person, right? And if you're with somebody and, you may love them, but you may not be in love with them. As a Scorpio, I need that love. I need that deep commitment, that deep connection, right? I mean, I'm talking deep, deep, deep. How deep? Deeper than Atlantis. Anyway, I'm talking about, where is the love? Is the love gone? If you don't have the love anymore and you're with that person for a practical reason, there's a good chance you may not be able to salvage the relationship. Financial stability. And I'll put this one in there because it's one of the main reasons a lot of marriages fail, right? You can have all the love, all the respect, trust, and communication, but if you broke, times are hard. Life is hard. And sometimes that can bring resentment between one another. If you feel like your man shouldn't have you in a situation where utilities are getting cut off, or where you can't keep a roof over your head, or if you feel like your woman should be able to, get a job, get a hustle, do something that can help keep the lights on, keep the roof over their head. And that's between the couple to determine the roles, to determine how together, whether, one, the male or the woman, or even if we're talking about a same-sex relationship, one party or the other is going to, how they're going to contribute to the financial piece, right? Because it's one thing to be able to have the basics like shelter, food, clothes, right? But we all want to live, we all want to go on vacation, we all want to be able to go out to eat. And if that financial piece is lacking and you living on someone else, you at your mama house with your boo and your babies, that can be a very hard situation to rebound from. If that financial piece is not in place, the relationship may not be savable. Okay? Equal give and take. Are you feeling like you doing all the giving and they're doing all the taking? Do you feel like you support them, but they don't support you? You support them in going back to school. You support them in getting their certifications. You support them in doing what they can do to level up so that you guys can have that financial stability. Now it's their turn to reciprocate. Do they support you when it's time for you to go to school? Do they support you when it's time for you to get your hustle going? When it's time for you to get your certification? Or are you the only one putting in work around the house? Are you the only one expected to take care of the kids? These are the type of things that you have to talk about. Is it able to be worked out? If you feel stressed and strained because you feel like you're doing all of the giving and you're getting nothing in return, and you don't feel like it's possible to turn it around, then you might not be able to save it. Okay? And future outlook. What's the future outcome? Well, outcome. What is the common vision, right? If you guys are dating and in your mind you're dating with a purpose, you might be saying, hey, I see us down the road married with kids, or if you already have kids, then taking care of each other's kids. I see us together long term. I see us in a long-term committed relationship. I see us married. I see us in a house. I want to get out of this apartment. I want a backyard. I want to be able to have a career and still have a family, or whatever the case may be, right? And if you're feeling like one way and that person feels like, if you see like a family and a house and a white picket fence, and the other person just see a good time on the weekend, I'm not looking that far ahead, or, I don't plan long term, I don't know. Might not be able to save it if you can't get on the same page. And here's the bonus. The bonus is the physical. The physical, right? I mean, because we're all physical beings, right? We're spiritual beings having a physical experience. But let's talk about this physical experience. We want to enjoy our physical experience, okay? Okay, and a lot of times what attracted you to that person may have been a physical attraction, right? Damn, man, you look good. Oof, I love when you wear this. I love when your hair's like this. I love when you do that. Ooh, I love when you're working out because now you looking like this. Right? Get that passion going, right? In the bedroom, are they pleasing you? Or are they just getting theirs and they don't care? Are they trying to please you? Do they know how to please you? Did they ever please you? How long can you go on in the bedroom with somebody and they just ain't getting it? Then that makes somebody want to move around and do something else. Or are they so busy working that they ignore the physical piece? Or has that person gotten comfortable and when they're around the house, they got a bonnet on all day? They got their scarf on all day, but when they go to work or when they go out, they look good for everybody else. But when they come home, you don't get to see them like that. Where's the physical effort, right? If that person is lacking, if either of you are lacking in that physical stimulation, you got to keep that going. You got to keep one another attracted to one another, and you have to be committed to pleasing one another. If that piece is missing, you might not be able to save it, okay? All right. So those are the 7 aspects of a healthy relationship. Now, I want you to get a piece of paper. I should have said this first. Get a piece of paper and write this down. Trust, communication, respect, love, financial stability, fairness with equal give and take, common vision, and the physical. And rate your relationship based on this list. How well does your relationship measure up? Okay? And that will give you an idea on if the relationship is salvageable. Okay. Now, let's go into these questions because it's one thing to measure the relationship by this list that I just gave you, but it's another one to bring it home and make it personal. Because depending on who you are and what you want and need and what you have to offer today, right? Maybe you've outgrown a relationship. Maybe you've outgrown one another. You know, sometimes we change, and sometimes that change is so significant, we're just out of alignment. We might not be able to get back into alignment, right? But you have to know you, okay? So ask yourself, who are you? Be clear on who you are. Your spirituality, your sexuality, peace. Inwardly, who are you, right? And really, when you get to understand more about who you are, you will be able to understand if a person is a good fit for you because you know you. And a lot of times we don't look at ourselves deeply enough to know ourselves well enough. So we might meet somebody and we going through the motions and we might wonder why it's not a fit, but there might be some things about yourself you're unaware of or that you haven't given attention to. All right? So do a deep dive and really get inside and figure out who you are. Okay? What do you need? What's important to you? What do you have to offer? Where do you want this to go? And then the final question is, can you fix it? Right? Based on those questions that you ask yourself, and write these questions down and answer them. Who are you? What do you need? What is important to you? What do you have to offer? Where do you want this to go? And can you fix it? Okay? Meaning, can you fix the relationship based on the 7 aspects of a healthy relationship and the personal questions? Okay? And you have to know what do you need and what's important to you, right? I mean, and that goes along with knowing who you are. Are you a monogamous person? Maybe the person you're dealing with is more of a poly person. Maybe that's why they can't stay home. Could you see yourself changing? Could you be okay with a poly situation where they date and sleep with who they want to? And maybe you could do the same. A lot of times people with this poly, though, they want to be the poly, but they want the other person to be, faithful or monogamous. You see, that's not an equal give and take. So, work that out, though. But what do you need? What's important to you? What are your deal breakers? You have to know these things, okay? And what do you have to offer? Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're taking and you're not giving. And a lot of times that's why a relationship will fail, because a person is always thinking about what they can get out of it. But what do you have to offer? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Right? What can you contribute? What can you give to your partner to make their life better? Because you're supposed to cover one another, right? You take care of them, they take care of you, you take care of one another. And you use your strengths and your talents to cultivate one another and care for one another. That's how you have an equal give and take. Is that present? What do you have to offer to contribute to the relationship? Where do you want this to go? Right? Be clear, very clear on where you want it to go. And ask yourself, is it possible? Does that person really see themselves, buying a house with you? Do they really want more? Are they open to going into real estate, buying stock, signing their name on a contract with you, doing something together, doing bigger things, going on vacations, cruises? What if you got a homebody who just want to stay in the crib? I don't know. You want something long term. Do they want something short term? Or maybe you want something short term and they want something long term. But what do you want? When you're clear on what you want and the vision that you have, where do you want it to go? Right? There you go. Answer that question. Can you fix it? Well, how do you know if you can fix it? Based on those 7 aspects, right? Is the trust there? Out of those 7 aspects, you need to have every last one of them have to check the box. If there's a box missing, then there's a good chance you can't fix it. There's a good chance it's not salvageable, in my opinion. Because how many of us have seen people lacking several things in that list? Or you could only miss 1 or 2. It only takes 1. If you don't have trust or respect, you're not going to have a good relationship, So, that's how you measure it. Do you have a healthy relationship? And when you get personal with it about who you are, what you want, what you need, what you have to offer, is this relationship a good fit for you? Okay? Now, after you've answered those questions and you feel like you can salvage the relationship, you feel like you can save it, right? What can you do to save it? The number one thing it's going to take is cooperation. It's going to take the both of you. You got to, that here comes that communication piece in, where you guys talk about the relationship as it stands where it is, and you commit yourself to saving the situation, to saving the relationship. It can't be you by yourself that says, I did this homework, I feel like we're able to save it, I'm going to save it. You can't save it. It's going to take both of you to save it. The other person has to be on board. So number 1 is cooperation. All right, the next one is communication. You have to have a constant communication. I mean, like a daily check-in. Babe, how you doing today? How you feeling today? How was your day? What do you need? What can I do for you? How can I be of service to you? Cater to your partner, right? I want to cater to you because you live. All right, I suck at singing. I don't remember. I used to like that song too. Anyway, transparency, right? I'm not hiding anything. I don't have a lock on my phone. Everybody has a right to privacy. Respect your person's privacy, right? But if you get a text message and you got to, or the phone ring and you can't answer that right now, it's not being transparent. What are you hiding? Where are you going? I can't know where you're going. Where you been? Are you coming home from work on time? It shouldn't be a problem to be transparent, and not only with these type of things, but with your feelings. Be transparent about how you feel. How is this process of trying to save it going? Because you both have to be in cooperation with one another. You both have to make the decision collectively that we're going to try to save it. Okay? And then here comes the next step, which is the action. Actually put in the work. It ain't going to be easy. You got to put the work in. Okay? Especially if you got something like trust that you have to repair. Man, look, you might have to take that lock off your phone. You might have to say, hey, look, I ain't got nothing to hide, right? Hey, if you want to check it out, do whatever you need to. You know, go on my DMs, whatever, right? That's just my opinion. Because if I love my person so much that I don't want to be without them, and this is what's going to help repair the trust to get it back where it needs to be, cool. But you might have a person that say, hey, that's just crossing the line for me. Like, we could rebuild the trust, but I still want to keep my phone to myself. That's up to y'all to work it out, you know? But the transparency needs to be there. One person can't feel like the other person is hiding something from them. If that transparency is not there, you won't be able to save it, even if you try. Okay? A common vision. Revisit the common vision. Where do you see this going? Y'all have to be on the same page about what you want. Do you want to be married? And if you are married, then what does it look like? Where are we going? What are we doing together? Where do we see ourselves in 5 years? Okay, you got to be on the same page with that. Revisit that. And then you have to be committed to the process. Committed to the process of saving it. Committed to bringing this common vision to fruition. Okay? I love you enough to make your dreams come true. And you love me enough to make my dreams come true. Let's make it happen together. All right? I love you enough to do whatever it takes to be committed to this process of saving it. Even if it means going to counseling. That's another way you could save it. And that counselor will hear it out. Hear all your, X-files or whatever the case may be, But the counseling can really help you guys sort things out. And I know men, a lot of times we ain't trying to do all that talking and stuff. And Lord, man, if she means that much to you, player, you'll go to that counselor. You don't want to lose her? Do what it takes. If you don't want to lose him, do what it takes. Sometimes it takes counseling, okay? And if you're committed to the process and you're committed to saving it, do what it takes, okay? Now, lastly, if it is not salvageable, if you can't save your relationship, what do? The number one thing you have to do is accept it. Accept it within yourself first that it's over. And that can be a hard pill to swallow. Definitely easier said than done, but you got to accept it. Accept that it's over. Okay? It's over. All right. Now it might be a process to accepting, but first you have to accept it. Because once you accept it, you're not going to try to save it. Because a lot of times when we're not happy in a relationship, we'll take it upon ourselves to try to save it. Well, maybe if I do more of this, or maybe if I am more this way, or maybe if I give more of that, then they'll come around. But when you understand that it's over and you accept that it's over, you are not going to try to save it anymore. Okay? You have to accept it. The next step is to leave. Once you've accepted, hey, you know what? It's a done deal. Then break up with them, right? And that's different for you depending on what your situation is. If y'all don't live together, then, you break up with them. You tell them it's not working for you. It's over, whatever, If y'all living together, that process might be a little different. If you're married, it's definitely, not as easy to leave, right? You might have to go through a separation first, then you got to do that paperwork of the divorce, and it's a huge headache, okay? But that's the next step in the process. You have to leave. And if you're in a situation where maybe, you're dependent on this person financially, then you might have to come up with some sort of exit strategy, all right? And maybe that's just a video in and of itself, an exit strategy when you need to get rid of somebody or leave somebody, okay? But yeah, accept it, leave, and the third step is heal. You want to heal. That takes time, because even if you decided to break up with a person, that don't mean that your heart don't ache too. That don't mean that you don't have to deal with disappointment. That don't mean that you don't take it upon yourself and say, what could I have done to save it? And these are all of the type of things we go through. And then you have to deal with being alone for a while. But it's part of the healing process. But stick with it. Don't go back just because that's something you're used to or you're comfortable with it. Heal. Allow yourself time to heal and be sure to have a positive outlook. Understand that just because this situation didn't work out with this person, and even if you were with them for a long time, it doesn't mean you can't have what you want. It doesn't mean that you can't be happy with somebody. It just means that it didn't work with this person. Okay? There is still a chance for you to have a happy, loving, fulfilling relationship. Right? But the sooner you come to terms with it's not going to be able to be saved, then the sooner you can move on and heal. But have a positive outlook. That's really important, okay? And then after you've healed, try again. Get back out there, you know? And after you've done your healing and after that situation with the person that you were with and everything that y'all been through, I would like to think you're a lot wiser. And the more relationships we have, whether they're good or bad, we learn more about ourselves. And if you've done these personal questions about who you are and things of that nature, then you understand more about you, what you need, what you have to offer. Take those things into it and take the 7 aspects of a healthy relationship into it, right? Don't be so quick to jump in a relationship right away. Take time to really get to know this person, to see if they're a good match for you, all right? And when your heart is healed and you're ready, make it happen, okay? You can find love. You deserve love, okay? And there's somebody out there for you who loves you for who you are completely, all right? And understand that it's possible. Sometimes we put love on this pedestal so high up, and I don't know if I'll ever find love. Well, you won't if you're feeling like that. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm about to wrap this up, good people. I hope this message resonated with you. Remember, if you're interested in a one-on-one consultation and you want to, hear things from a male perspective as it relates to your relationship and see if there's something I can do to help you out, please be sure to check out my email that's going to be in the comments, okay? And I'll get back to you with those details. Remember to please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm going to see you all right here next time on Optimal Expression.